Well, hello, friends. Glad you could join us. Welcome to the 12th round of the CCRL Elite Tier season. Hotspot on the call for you once more. We got a fun one tonight in Singapore. Down and dirty in the hot and humid. We'll get to that in just a minute. We'll go through the starting grid right now. It is another 1-2 for the Mercedes team. Reimer on pole. 10th and a half clear of King Pro Player second. Johnny Damon, good result for him third. DWCJ fourth. Little Mo in the McLaren in fifth. R. Manson sixth. Seventh will be Merck. Eighth, Angry Walrus. Ninth, Curveball. 10th, Sepulveda. 11th is Trackside. 12th is Pontiac Bandit. 13th is Jabor. 14th is Hemphead. 15th, Owa. 16th, Bong. 17th is Anyote. And rounding out the grid without a time, I think joined late, is John the Prince. So, if you're at all familiar with the United States, you will know Thanksgiving is next Thursday. Now, most people are thankful for things like family, their friends, their pets, their food that they get on the table. All of that is true. For me, while some of that is true, you know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that this track no longer takes a rocket scientist to figure out and get good laps in. The improvements they've made to the circuit has not only made driving it better, it's made racing so much more fun. Just genuinely to watch and to spectate as well. I mean, seriously, these races that we do get here are some of the finest that you'll see. Tire strategies involved, safety car possible, rain possible, and the track is drivable now. I will point out one thing, that this game has not properly updated. This game came out in, what, July, June? At the time, I don't believe that it was noticed that they have added a fourth DRS zone to this track, coming out of turn 14 and down towards that 16 and 17 final little right and left. That has not been added. That is still a non-DRS section here in-game. It should be DRS, as it is in real life. It's not. But once again, this Marina Bay Street circuit here in Singapore should provide some fantastic racing tonight. 18 quality and hungry drivers on the grid tonight, hopefully. They won't use up the entirety of the hunger tonight because they'll need it for next Thursday, promise you that. Which next Thursday as well, I believe, I think this entire next week, no CCRL. We do only have a couple of rounds left in this in the sixth season here. We head to China next time out. December the 4th is what's listed on my calendar I'm looking at now. Head to Baku for the penultimate round, December 11th and December 18th. A 100% distance Grand Prix at the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium to round out the season. We'll have a quick look at the driver and constructor standings if we can. Obviously, the two Mercedes atop the table. Reimer and King Pro Player in second. 62 points between them. DWCJ third. Charlie Gull fourth. Merck fifth. Curveball sixth. Manson 7th, 8th Owa, 9th Pontiac Bandit, 10th John the Prince. As far as the constructors are concerned, it is obviously the Mercedes leading the way, 244 points clear of the Alpines in second. McLaren's third, the V-Carbs fourth, Red Bull's fifth, Aston sixth, Sauber 7th, Ferrari 8th, the Willies in 9th, and Haas in 10th. So the Willies have improved and gone up a position there, haven't they? Quick moment to... Oh yeah, I just love that sound, don't you? I know I do. I don't know about you guys. Anyways, once again here, a little bit of a distance Grand Prix. This, if I'm to be corrected, I believe it's 36 laps long, which is quite long of a circuit. I know these laps are not as long as they used to be, but still, it's a lot of focus to be had here. It's one of those tracks I compared to Jeddah as well. Yeah, the top time was a 1:26.953 by Reimer. I set this track alongside Jeddah in the sense where you really need to have the utmost focus the entirety of while you drive it. Because even that they've made this track, I'd say, easier, really. They've made the track easier, they've made the new layout. It's still very difficult. There's still a lot of places to catch you up by surprise, and there's still a lot of nooks and crannies that you could really get yourself into trouble with quite quickly. Track limits being one of them. Obviously, the walls next to the edge of the damn circuit is another. And I tell you what, there's only a couple of true overtaking zones here, even with the DRS. But once again, 18 hungry drivers on the grid. 18 drivers on the grid in Singapore. Hopefully they don't ram ranch each other into the first corner. I don't think anyone in the history of casting anything has made a Ram Ranch reference, but I just have. Anyways, not the point. Under the night sky, and I haven't been told that there's any threat of rain immediately, so sometimes someone will ping me. I actually kind of like it if they don't, but a lot of the time we will get to see if there is rain or not when we look at the tires being used. But once again here, just moments away from the lights turning on and then going off, and 18 drivers pouring in to those 3 difficult first couple of corners. It's that left and a little bit of a flick to the right, and then the tight left-hander after that. That kind of corner in the middle does catch drivers out by surprise, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of guys mix it up in there today. Well, 4 lights and eventually 5 are on. The Silvereros at the front. Will they stay that way as they exit the first couple of corners? Reimer gets off the line very well. He's on the hards for this occasion, as behind King Pro Player has been taken off the line, but does clear Johnny Damon and the rest by the time they get through the 2 Astons side by side. There we get a V-Carb and a Sauber and a McLaren that's gone well off the track. That's trackside, and I think that right there is curveball. Something is... I don't even know. We're going to ignore that. As the 2 Mercedes lead us out of turn number 5, heading down this little straight here, turn 6, and into the braking zone at turn 7. Sometimes you do see a couple of moves be made here, if you're willing and if you're daring. Sepulveda, the inside of Pontiac Bandit, the V-Carb and the Alpine behind is going to go off track just a little bit there, and they're going to be side by side, heading in towards turn number 8, and Sepulveda's gone round, and thankfully ghosting is on, because that would have been an absolute traffic jam had that one not ended his way. Once again, the 2 Mercedes cars lead as they about to go over the bridge and into the very tight hairpin. At turn 13 here. King Pro Player on the medium tires. We do have Hemphead who spun it round. King Pro Player on the medium tires, it appears now. Reimer is going to allow his teammate by. Whether that was by design or not, I'm not too sure. Reimer is on the hard tires, mind you, as well as the majority of the top 5 as well. King Pro and Little Mo are the only 2 on the mediums. Manson's gone to the mediums. Walrus has gone to the hards. It's actually a fairly decent mix of tires here. Trackside's the only one who's gone soft for this occasion. Everybody else has either chosen the hards or the mediums, and I would say it is an even mix between the 2. As they make their way out of the final couple of corners here after the first lap. King Pro Player does set the fastest lap. I have a feeling that's going to be kind of changed about here once we start getting some consistent times in. Obviously, first lap doesn't usually happen. But we do have DRS activated. That will not happen until they go to the DRS section, exiting the hairpin at turn 13, down the stretch in towards that tight right-hander at 14. They won't get it here because the detection zone is all the way back in Sector 3, so they will not... Okay, apparently they do have it. I don't know how that's happened. Usually they won't... Oh, there is a detection zone right over there. My bad. 15 to 22 is the strategy for medium to hard. And, well, that's... assuming it's going to be just flip-flop the other way around for hard to medium. Little Mo to the inside of DWCJ, up to 4th. Big slide for DW there. He has caught it. Apologies, I've misspoken there. There is a detection point exiting turn number 3, in through turn 4 and before 5. You can kind of see it there. I was a little surprised. I thought the only one was going through Sector 3 there. That's why I was confused. Sometimes we do see that on some tracks, but not here. Anyway, the 2 Mercedes atop the grid are kind of not necessarily pulling away here. I think Johnny Damon, if he stays within DRS range of Reimer, he could catch back up here. We do have curveball and trackside, side by side, going in through turn 14. Now, I do want to point this out as well. This is the stretch of track here that has DRS in real life and not here. Why they've not added it, I'm a little surprised. They usually sometimes get things right. EA, if we're talking about sometimes getting things right, they got a batting average about as much as Aaron Judge in the postseason, but still, sometimes they do. This is not one of the occasions. This is the 8 out of the 10 times they have not gotten something wrong. They have not gotten something right. Got Merc and Pontiac Bandit side by side into the first corner. That's usually a bit sketchy. Try to do there. Merc has gone way over the inside of the first curb. I'm not actually sure if he's exceeded track limits there or not. Either way, he's kept it pretty clean, so nicely done there. To be able to sort that one out nicely. McLaren, a Little Mo. 3.5, 4/10 of a second behind Johnny Damon as they make their way into turn 8. Sometimes you do see a rogue overtake going in through here. You got to be very careful not to push your opponent off track as we see them going through 7 there. This is what I might be talking about here. Into the corner. And... oh, fucking hell. I'm sorry, apologies for the cursing, but curveball. That car is jumping around more than the House of Pain out there. As we do have a yellow flag, that is the Red Bull of Owa, I believe. No, it's not Owa. It's actually Onyote. That's going around out of turn 8. Seems to have done a little bit of a spin. He's corrected it, though. Anyways, I'm expecting Little Mo to have a bit of a look here, although it's very interesting for Little Mo right now because none of the DRS sections really provide a very solid overtaking opportunity. I would say the one going from turn 5 to turn 7, end of Sector 1 into Sector 2, that's got to be the best one because there's actually a little bit of runoff out to the outside. Like here, there's just no way you're ever going to make that happen. Trackside's got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. That's our first track limits related penalty of the night. This first corner, the pit straight's just not really long enough, I think, to make anything happen, although Little Mo's going to try to prove me wrong here. Maybe not. Yeah, that pit straight's just not really long enough to make anything happen as far as overtaking is done with DRS. Coming in here out of turn 4 in through 5. Now, this is, I think, where Little Mo's going to have his best opportunity. What I will say, though, is this. Reimer has lost approximately an additional second and a half back to King Pro Player. Johnny Damon is now actually within DRS range of the Mercedes ahead. In towards turn 7, and there's all the runoff out there. Now, this is, again, really, I think, just the best overtaking zone on track. It is still risky, by all means. I think you still have to be quite gutsy to make one happen, as Merck's going to go to the inside of Pontiac Bandit. Pontiac's going to outbreak him on the outside. Merck has taken that corner absolutely brilliantly, though. He's only just stayed within track limits. Oh, and see, this is what I was talking about here. They're side-by-side through 8. Merck has been not necessarily forced into the outside wall, but they both run out of real estate here, and Merck has gone to the outside. Hopefully he's not got any wing damage. In through turn 10 now. Little corner there to the right of turn 11 and then 12, and over the bridge you go. You do typically lose traction going over the bridge from that 12 to from that 11 to 12 transition. Why do you lose traction there? I don't really know, but you do. As they go over the bridge and exiting 13, Merck did make a bit of a contact at the back end of the V-carb in question. I think trackside. Never mind. Little Mo is within 0.2 of a second here of Johnny Damon. Going to look to the inside through 18 and 19. That's where Lance Stroll had his massive accident in qualifying, was it last year, 2 years ago. To the inside, looking into turn 1, Little Mo's going to send it, and he's going to afford Johnny Damon just enough room to stay on track there. They're going to be side by side, and the McLaren has muscled his way up to the 3rd spot. Nicely done. That one did look quite good. Curveball is going to get around trackside, or so we think. And down exiting turn 5 and down the little straight here. Little Mo actually may have a fair look at Reimer here if he's able. Reimer has lost an additional half of a second in that previous go-round, and trackside is retired. That is on track, exiting turn 3 into turn 4. We have our first safety car of the session. That car has gone round in a heap. Business is about to pick up strategically, as we now have, realistically, I think, an opportunity for some of these guys in the mediums to come in for the hards. It's very interesting, this, because I think this still might be a little bit early, if you ask me, but it could still happen. I'm just wondering what's going on with Reimer. He's lost a lot of time to his teammate. Obviously, King Pro on the medium tires. That's nothing to scoff about there, but still, this is slightly unusual for Reimer here to be losing this much time. Curveball and trackside have both left the session here. I bit my tongue, I'm afraid. So safety car here rather early on. Jabor and Hemphead, the first two to commit to the pit lane. I'm assuming it's going to be medium tires there for Hemphead. Jabor, I'm assuming, for the mediums as well. Has Jabor pit for an old set of hard tires? I believe that he has. Yes, that's Jabor's second stop of the session. He's put on a previously used set of hard tires. As King Pro Player is the only driver... Well, this is very interesting here. King Pro Player is the only driver out of the top 7 cars to have actually stopped here. And very interesting, he's gone medium here. That's right, King Pro Player has stopped from the lead on a set of mediums to another set of medium tires. That is not what I expected, that's for sure. John the Prince is going to get around King Pro Player, I think, as they get out of the pit lane. That will relegate the Mercedes back to the 11th position. Bit of a tough one there as Bonging into the pit lane now. Getting her front wing replaced as well. As we do have Hemphead and Jabor trying to make their way back round. Want to give a quick shout out to Little Mo. He has been on a tear here in the opening laps. 3 positions gained. I will say probably only one of which done genuinely. That's a bit rich, isn't it? He started... What was he, 4th or 5th? He's up to 2nd now. He got round Johnny Damon, nicely done. He got round DWCJ as well. Of course, he's just gotten the move over King Pro Player, but a good showing so far for Lil Mo, that's for sure. Pontiac Bandit up 5 positions. John the Prince up 9. Those are our biggest movers in the positive direction. Also, we've got Agnote in there as well. Let's not forget about him. King Pro Player has just stopped for those medium tires again, which is why he's down 9. Curveball's down 4. Hemphead down 2, Jabor down 4, and then Merck has lost his 1. Going to be, I would assume, a couple of laps here before we get the safety car queue in order. Just a reminder again, we've only got 3 rounds left in this season. China, after the Thanksgiving break. Baku, Azerbaijan, the penultimate round of the season. And then we head to Spa for round 15. What's been a unforgettable championship here if you are a Mercedes driver. These guys have dominated. I almost get them confused with 2020 Hamilton and Bottas. That's how much they've dominated here with that Mercedes team. I will say though, let's not ignore the rest of the grid here. I will say this: despite the 2 Silver Arrows leading the charge, we have seen some fantastic racing so far this season from everybody who is not in a Mercedes car at the moment. And what I mean obviously McLarens and Williams count and whatnot, so never mind. There has been some fantastic racing throughout the grid this season. Of course, it's been slightly overshadowed by the pair of the Mercedes at the top of the grid, but they have still done just fine. It's been a pleasure joining you once again here. And what is now, I believe, my 3rd CCRL season. Curveballs picked up a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Slightly odd penalty to pick up here. Hopefully the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We're just waiting for the Ferrari of Hemphead and the Williams of Jabor to make their way back around. They're currently going through turn 5 and turn 3, respectively, as the rest of the grid is heading into 10 now. So maybe we'll wait one more time to be able to get this grid stacked up and ready to go. Reimer on those medium tires. It's a bit of a question for me here. Has he been just conserving those hard tires, or is he genuinely struggling? Because he was losing significant time back to King Pro player. Lil Mo has been very quick on his mediums. I think he's definitely got to be the favorite here off the start. Manson's in this picture as well. He's got his teammate of Angry Walrus behind him. That could come into play. We do some teamsmanship here from the Aston Martin team. That'd be very good to see, actually. I think that really helped Manson. Walrus has a couple of quick drivers behind him, and Pontiac Bandit, Merc John, the Prince Sepulveda, not to mention King Pro player as well. As we got a bit of a mix-up going through turn 14. A pair of the Red Bulls have stacked up here. Not really sure what the deal is with that, as the safety car has refused to come in here. Just waiting for Jabor to catch back up, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough, is it? And nope, one more time round for the Mercedes AMG. .31 laps scheduled distance here. We will go green flag racing on the 9th lap of 31. The safety car came out just a couple of laps ago. I'm assuming that's not going to be our final safety car of the session. We started with 18. We're down to 17th after Trackside loses the car, unfortunately, coming out of turn 4. Or was it more turn 3 into 4? It's difficult. That is a tricky section of the track to try to get the power down. You do usually get some tire slippage going on there. Absolutely true. Once again, the question's gonna be, does Reimer have enough now to be able to hold on? I know this is probably a circuit that Reimer enjoys, but for the time being, just does look slightly a bit of a task around here. Making their way onto the bridge now and down towards turn 14. I'm just wondering, I think there's got to be some way. You almost have to think that as the safety car is going to be into the end of this lap, you almost got to think there's got to be some way to rework that 14th corner, because of how important of a corner it is in the track, and there's just really no way to find a move there. If you get that braking zone wrong, you're going into the barriers like George Russell. Even if you get it right, probably much of the same as well. But anyway, Reimer now will lead the grid back to the green flag here as the safety car makes its way into the pit lane. And the track is now labeled as green. Remember, it's up to Reimer to decide when to go. Safety car's in the pit lane. He can go whenever he wants. He chooses now as he makes his way towards the final couple of corners. Little Mo has not been fooled by Reimer's safety car gamesmanship here, as into the first corner they go. Can the McLaren have a bit of a look to the inside? And he's going to be only just, I'd say, about 150 meters shy of being able to make that move happen. Out of turn 3, in through 4. 0.3 of a second between the two. Of course, no DRS this time. Bine will have to wait one more lap. Lil Mo over to the inside. Reimer has gotten a relatively slow go through that corner, much compared to the McLaren. To the inside is Lil Mo, and down through turn 6 in towards 7, and we have a new leader. It's Lil Mo and the McLaren, as we got a couple of cars who have gone round. Sepulveda being one of them, Hemphead another, and I think Onyo Te has had a bit of a mix-up somewhere along the line, as Curveball has left the session again, I think due to his connection. Exiting turn 9, down towards 10, Johnny Damon has a very good opportunity here to be able to overtake. Reimer's gone way deep into turn 10, I'm afraid. That car appears to be struggling. King Pro Player now up to 9th as we have a virtual safety car on track. It appears we've got at least a couple of cars who have gone round, Bongit being one of them. He looks to have put it in the fence somewhere along the line. Angry Walrus has spun it going through the Singapore Sling and has lost the front wing. And this will be upgraded to a full safety car. As it's making its way out on track, we've got 2 cars missing front wings. Angry Walrus, who has parked it, not on purpose, obviously, about to go over the bridge. And Bongit, who had lost it going through, I believe it was turn... what was it? It was turn 10, something like that. I don't know. We do now have a full safety car on track for the second time. Lil Mo has the lead and is now into the pit lane. Reimer does not follow. He's still on the hard tires. Johnny Damon stays out as well. DWCJ Manson stays out as well. Pontiac Bandit as well. King Pro Player, who had made up 2 spots on track in that exchange. We're now up for our second safety car of the day, and once again, it is just Little Mo, the lone driver to pit so far. Very interesting, that. Another thing that I like about the Singapore circuit, we do get some discrepancy in the tire strategy. As it turns out, that's very much more the same as what we're seeing here. As before, King Pro Players took the gamble, now Lil Mo, after getting the lead of the Grand Prix, gives it right back to Reimer, albeit probably... well, definitely strategically wise. And, of course, we got the pair of the 2 at the back here, Walrus and Bongit, those responsible, unfortunately, for the safety car in question after both of them lost a front wing. That is just kind of the risk that you take at this circuit. One mistake and it's all over. Although, thankfully for Bongit and Walrus, they may have hit the wall. They've not hit it enough to eliminate themselves from the session, thankfully. That will still leave us with 17 cars, albeit probably 5 or 6 front wing less than as when we started, but that's okay. Only about a third of the way through the Grand Prix, coming up though on halfway. For what it's been worth, we've seen some, or for what it's worth, yeah, we've seen some good action so far. I just kind of think it's a little bit tricky here. Safety car is probably going to have a bit of a wait once again as we wait for the Aston Martin and the Ferrari at the tail end to catch themselves back up. Probably go racing again on lap 12. Leaves us with under 20 laps remaining. We'll be at halfway at lap 15. Probably going to get back to green flag racing this time by. It'll be lap 12. Reimer does have the lead. Johnny Damon in second. DWCJ third. Once again, we'll have a quick look at the tire compounds. We've got the entirety of the podium, 3 on the hards, 4th and 5th on the mediums. Matter of fact, only 3 cars in the top 10 on said medium tires, that being Manson, Pontiac Bandit, and King Pro Player. Manson and Pontiac have started on those medium tires. King Pro Player has pit for a second set. And I'm just wondering what King Pro Player's... I'm very curious as to why he stopped as early as he had. You know, we said it as well under that first safety car, that it was probably just a little bit too early to have stopped. And King Pro Player went for it. Still has to stop again, mind you, because he started the race in the mediums. He's pit for the mediums, so he still has to fulfill one more pit stop to get the requirement of using 2 different tire compounds. I don't know. Is it genuinely an advantage? I don't know. It's very it's a tough ask here. Anyways, green flag will be in, the safety car will be in this time by. Green flag racing coming up here, and once again, Reimer's got the task of trying to decide when and where is the good decision on getting the jump in the safety car here. Johnny Damon is second in line. Now, I will say this, Lil Mo did very well to telegraph Rapid Reimer's decision-making. Let's see if that's the case here for Johnny Damon. Rapid Reimer has kind of caught him sleeping there. The one moment that Damon had to back off because he thought he was going to run into the back of Reimer, and Reimer's pulled away. Nicely done. Down the pit straight they go. Johnny Damon is not going to be close enough to make a move, but we do have King Pro Player to the inside of Merck into the first corner. Up to 6th place for King Pro Player. Once again, no DRS here on the opening lap. They'll have to wait until next time by to get a dosage of the drag reduction system. King Pro Player, into the back end of Pontiac Bandit. Surely he'll be feeling that one. Thankfully, it doesn't appear any damage has been caused, but around the outside of the V-carb in question, he'll have to outbrake him here as DWCJ trying to find a move on Johnny Damon, can't get it done. Bit of fisticuffs now going through turn 7 and into turn 8 they go. They're going to be side by side. Pontiac Bandit up the inside. King Pro trying to switch him back on the outside, and he's just not quite going to be close enough. Another little bit of contact there. Rubbin's racing right, and out of the inside. King Pro Player maybe side by side through 10. He's going to send it. And just like... Oh, goodness me, it's so difficult going side by side through. Look at them go. Oh, goodness me, it's like a NASCAR race now. As side by side, wheel to wheel. And Pontiac Bandit has had a hell of a hit to the outside wall. Wow, and just such an unfortunate way to end that battle. You just knew it was going to happen. Wow, and they were side by side battling so well, and I'm afraid it was less of tempers flaring, more or less just... It's so difficult. They tried going side by side through 10. The Mercedes was on the inside. I think to that point, everything was okay. You know, King Pro Player didn't really force him off track. I just think it was really one of those things. They tried fitting 2 cars into only somewhere where one could fit. They were side by side going through 11. It was even dangerous then. King Pro Player, I will say, has well pitted front wing damage for him. Well, so I suppose on that front, it's quite fair. Very big shame that they've got to meet some difficulty like this, because it was such a good battle, and they got to the bridge, and I'm just thinking that maybe one of them got loose, or they just ran out of room, and Pontiac Bandit unfortunately got the bad end of that, although in fairness, King Pro Player's not really had it any better, has he? That is a terrible, unfortunate way to end that battle. And Hemphead somehow saves it. Wow, I mean, that car was full tilt going on outside at turn 9. Not usually a place you're going to lose a car through turn 9 there, but he has. Thankfully, it doesn't appear that he's really hit anything, and we're back on our way. Coming up now on halfway through this race session, John the Prince going to go a little bit deep into the corner there, and we do have a good battle going on for the top 3. Reimer, except for the start of the safety car, has not been really able to pull away enough over Johnny Damon. As they make their way through turns 18 and 19, Johnny Damon's got 4.5 tenths of a second. DWCJ a little bit on the outside looking in, I'll admit, but he's still right there, and he's still got a good vantage point of the 2 cars ahead of him, especially if something potentially happens where they get together, very much similar to King Pro and Pontiac Bandit. I'm assuming something like that could easily happen between 2 guys battling for a win here. I think that's probably a little bit far-fetched considering neither of them have stopped yet, but still. Had some good action here. Heading into turn 7, and Johnny Damon's going to be a little bit too far away to make that happen. DWCJ's not really close either. Lil Mo's going to get around Owa, and Angry Walrus is going to do much of the same this time into turn 7 as well. Owa, unfortunately, losing 2 spots in one go. John the Prince with then 4.5 of Merc through turn 9, and really, he's not quite close enough to make something happen. As far as pit stops are concerned, the top 6 have yet to stop, as well as Sepulveda and Anyute. Everybody else has made at least 1 or 2 stops. And speaking of Sepulveda, he's gone around and he's lost a bit of the front wing as well. Appearingly just the end plate on the left side, which is still not good at all. Usually talk about the importance of downforce to these cars. Very much so extra at a track like this. Well, look at this. Lil Mo's actually gone around the outside then of Jabor on the way in through 14. Now, I said earlier, I don't really expect many moves to be made through there. Well, he's done just that. Nicely done for Lil Mo. Slowly becoming one of the most exciting drivers in this race, let's be fair. Down the pit straight, and still it's a good battle for the top 2. Reimer leads by 0.3 of a second as they make their way through 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Reimer still, despite not having DRS, is putting on a halfway decent performance as Angry Walrus and Jabor are going to swap spots then, and Lil Mo's quite close to John the Prince. DRS activated for Johnny Damon, and still he is just not gaining time to the back end of Reimer. Not going to be able to challenge him into 7. Lil Mo now to the inside of John the Prince, and he's going to have that one rather easily. Lil Mo back up to 6th. Still top 3, and it has to be said, DWCJ really starting to have to cling to that 1 second gap. He's lost it now. And through the Singapore sling they go. 3.5, 0.4 of a second between the two, battling for the lead. Johnny Damon right close as they head into the hairpin at 13. Who's going to have better acceleration here? Oh, it's got to be Reimer, hasn't it? Been very close. DRS activated, of course, for the Sauber. And, yep, it's just not quite long enough to be able to have a look to the inside. Equal amounts of slippage there coming out of 14. Through 15, Damon, again, not really closing in. Still within the picture. I think Reimer has got to start feeling the pressure here shortly. Merc now half a second behind Lil Mo as they make their way out of 17, that is. 18 and 19 now. As R. Manson into the pit lane. One of our first, I would assume, more strategical stops here. First car of the day, I believe, to not stop under safety car condition is into the pit lane, and it's going to be to the hard tires for him as we're halfway through. Johnny Damon 0.4 of a second away. I tell you what, definitely having a look at Reimer. He's not really close enough to be able to make something happen. Jabor getting around John the Prince through turn 7, up to 7th. Bong, it's about 1/10 away from Anyute to the inside. He's made that one happen. Nicely done. John the Prince, 0.4 behind Jabor. Walrus, going to have a look to the right side of Merc through 10. No, not quite. Merc's going to push a little bit wide, though. And I don't quite think Walrus is in the best position for the move right now, although over the bridge. Oh, and Merc's going to defend that corner very well. Walrus is going to try to go wide. He's had to second-guess himself, though. And now exiting 13. Walrus still around the outside. DRS activated for the Aston Martin, and he's done that quite well. Up to 5th. Good little battle there. Walrus, good fight. Once again, the battle for the top spot still 0.4 of a second. And, well, I think Reimer maybe had a slight look of wanting to pit that time. Didn't do it enough to make it happen. I think he's waiting for a good opportunity here. He knows he's amongst the minority of drivers who haven't stopped yet. Hard tires. You think he could probably stay and try to go for the softs? It'd be very, what's the word I'm looking for? It'd be very unorthodox. Well, let's say another safety car happens in probably 5 laps time. 5 laps or less, really. And that is a very valid decision from Reimer to go to the softs. And I think that's what Reimer's doing here. Those medium tires are probably not those hard tires are probably not that good. However, he knows there's still 16 cars on track. There could be another safety car. What I will say is this: his curveball is King Pro player has not had a good go over here. I think he's had to he's had a third stop here. Yes, he has. Stopped once for the medium tires. Stopped again, I think, after the collision with Pontiac Bandit, and he stopped one more time. He's on the 2-lap-old hard tires. Been a very unfortunate day for him. What started as good battling, and I think a lot of what it was really, he kind of got himself in a weird position with that strategy, I'm going to say. I think it could have worked. I just couldn't quite stay out of trouble tonight. As Jabor, oh no, Jabor's gone round exiting 13. It appears he's, whatever the issue was, he's got it sorted, and we're on our way. Down the pit straight again. Johnny Damon behind. 3.5 tenths of a second. Have a quick look to the inside. Not really. DWCJ into the pit lane. Another one of our front runners here who have yet to stop, and they're making good on that now. Medium tires here. Just over 10 laps to go. Good decision, I think. If you were going to stop for the sauce, just a little bit early still. John the Prince now on the way in. Let's see if he makes a different decision as we got a battle for the top two. Johnny Damon was within 1/10 and a half there. Wasn't quite close enough. John the Prince has gone to the medium tires. Reimer was very close to being overtaken that time. That was Johnny Damon's best attempt of the session so far on that Mercedes of Reimer. Got a yellow flag. That's an Aston Martin. That's Angry Walrus. It doesn't appear that he's hit anything, thankfully. As around the outside, DWCJ's got an Anyote there going through turn 9. Bit of a unorthodox place to make a move, but nicely done nonetheless. Johnny Damon still not quite close enough to make it happen. Yellow flag, that's a Red Bull. Exiting turn 13, Anyote seems to have gone round. Oh, he's lost a bit of a front wing as well. Little surprised there's no virtual safety car for that. It's a bit different on this track, naturally, because there's no runoff area. Kind of have to throw a virtual safety car if there is standing front wing. Bongit's now picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Still 0.3 of a second, as we do have a good battle going on behind. Sorry, that's just Anyote into the pit lane. Anyote fixing that front wing, Hemp head as well. As once again the battle for the lead rages on. 0.3 of a second as they make their way in through turn 14. Slowing down a little bit here this race. That's all right. We got ourselves a good battle for the lead on our hands. And even more, 2 cars who have yet to stop. And oh, by the way, Lil Mo is on pace right now to take the lead of this Grand Prix once these 2 stop. Neither of these guys, once again, have yet to find the pit lane. For the time being, these top 2 only have 5.5 seconds back to Lil Mo. Mo has, what's that, 10 seconds back to Walrus, who's got 3-second penalty of his own anyway. I think Reimer and Damon have got to hope for a safety car here. Otherwise, it's really all over unless Lil Mo makes a mistake. Merck's going to be on his way into the pit lane. Once again, still the battle for the top 2. At the line next time by, not this time, the next time, will be 10 laps to go in this Singapore Grand Prix. And I've had a lot of twists and turns in tonight's action, and still a bunch more on the way, I'm sure. As Reimer's got himself one hell of a task here and trying to hold off Johnny Damon. Oh, wow, I tell you what, Reimer's had a bit of a mishap there. Nearly lost the car into the barriers going through the Singapore sling. He's only just caught it. And unfortunately, Johnny Damon was not able to capitalize on that. That's gotta be a move you make, as we got a yellow flag going through turn 8. Bongit has backed it into the fence. Not that much front wing missing. That's not worth a safety car, is it? 2 safety car tonight. One of which early on, the second not far after that, and into the pit lane goes Reimer. Surely the soft tire's coming. Oh, goodness me! He's hit the wall on the way through the pit lane. It doesn't appear there's any damage to that front wing, but goodness me, was that something. Reimer in, soft tires on as we expected. Johnny Damon has stayed out. Lil Mo, 3-4 seconds behind. Reimer's going to come out of the pit lane here. 4th place, maybe 5th. Once Owa gets round. Yeah, and Owa's going to take that 4th spot. Not to mention DWCJ and Jabur coming up the road as well. Oh, and look at this. DWCJ and Reimer right next, close to each other as well. DRS is going to be had for the Alpine in question. Reimer, has he got the tires up to temperature? Oh, yeah, I tell you what, he's handled that corner just fine. I would say that Mercedes is ready to go. Although, he does currently have 25.5 seconds to get back to the lead of the Grand Prix. And 10 laps to go this time by. That is going to be quite the ask. Falling into the pit lane here. Oh, so we got a good battle. King Pro player to the inside of Pontiac Bandit. These two had stuff in for each other early on, and once again, contact made, going way over the edge of the circuit. And once again, I'm afraid, tempers flaring this time, potentially. Before, you could have chalked it up as racing incidents. Now, a little bit more than that, potentially. It started as a fantastic battle between the two. Been slightly frustrating, considering both of their races have been tarnished because of the incident. Johnny Damon into the pit lane. Assuming it's going to be soft tires on for him, we have 10 laps to go. Yep, soft tires. Lil Mo is by himself. Next closest car is Angry Walrus, who is 14 seconds down the road. Although what I will say is this. Walrus is catching up. 12-lap-old medium tires. He's holding steady. He's gaining some time here and there. Not really noticeable enough to really shout about. I think Lil Mo's got to be okay to the end of the race here on those hard tires. 12 laps, yeah, surely. 3-car battle here for the 4th spot. Owa, DWCJ to the inside of Owa here. Through turn 7, Owa's going to be able to get better acceleration around the outside. Johnny Damon, I think, wanted to have a small look there. Through turn 8, wasn't quite in position to do so. With a yellow flag, that's the Sauber of Sepulveda. He's gone round. He has lost some front wing, but it appears to be to the inside of the circuit. And the track will stay green. King Pro player around the outside of Pontiac Bandit. Oh, and there's contact there. Wow. Easy, fellas. DWCJ now half a second. Sorry, well, 0.2 of a second behind Owa. Once again for the 4th spot. Johnny Damon looking on and hoping a way forward can be made here. DWCJ to the inside. He's going to take Owa. Oh, bit of contact there, potentially. Reimer's got the fastest lap. Is closing in on Walrus, but a lot of room to be had here. Johnny Damon trying to outbrake. Oh, for God's sakes. You have got to be genuinely kidding me now. Got less than 10 laps to go in a Grand Prix. A race where the end was not exactly certain. And here we are. That is... Oh. This is a bigger problem than I have initially thought of. Several cars. Lil Mo has left the session. DWCJ has been kicked from the session. This is suddenly an issue. Wow, this is just slightly alarming, this. Not all cars have actually been glitched from the session. Lil Mo, DWCJ, and myself are the only three for the time being that I know. DWCJ's got me an invite. Thank you very much. What an absolute piece of steaming dog crap this game is. But we have a race to finish here, lads. Big thank you to DWCJ for getting me back in the lobby here, and we are still good to go. We've got probably less than 10 laps to go. Definitely less than 10 laps to go. We'll look at the interval now. Haven't quite figured it out yet. Lil Mo has still not rejoined the session. I don't think I have him added. Somebody's got to get him in, man. Genuinely. What an absolute shame it would be if we can't get Lil Mo into this race. I don't know if he's... What do you call it? I don't know if he's PlayStation or not. Let me see if I can add him. Do bear with me for just a second. We're going to see if we can invite Lil Mo. This is just such a travesty of an event here because Reimer and Johnny Damon are genuinely going to go on and win the race here. Lil Mo had a 15-second advantage. He had a 15-second advantage, and unfortunately, he's just totally going to lose this race because of it. That is just so depressing, genuinely. With 5 laps to go at the line this time. Lil Mo can at least salvage a podium, but oh goodness me, as we have a yellow flag. Bongit's gone round, has missed a little bit of the front wing, I'm afraid. Bongit's going to pick up 3 seconds of penalty for multiple warnings. Got 5 laps to go, this time by as DWCJ trying to get round Owa here. Let's see what he's able to do. Alright, he's just not quite there yet. 0.2 of a second behind. The inside of Owa. Up to that 4th spot. Oh, big slide there, but he's caught it. King Pro player. Just going to get round Angry Walrus. I don't have Walrus friended, and I think he's on EA. I can't get him. TWCJ almost looked as if he had gone into the corner there. Sepulveda's left the session. After, I believe, DNFing, I think, in the pit lane at least. It's genuinely upsetting to see this sort of thing happen. Not necessarily just to me, because, you know, the cast goes on. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it's not critical if I'm here, although I like to believe that it is. But at the end of the day, right, it's just kind of, if I make it in, that's fine. Armance is going to get around Jabor, and if I don't, then, you know, it's one thing. Lil Mo has been cost a genuine, great performance race win here because of this game. That doesn't sit right. It really doesn't. And you know what? I'll be fair and honest to Reimer here. He's done well. The strategy was a good call, staying on the hards as long as he is to the softs. I don't think he's going to deserve this win today. I don't. Johnny Damon is second behind. He's got a couple of laps left to try to take it off Reimer. And I'll be honest with you, even if both these guys either won, yeah, I still don't know. I still don't think so. I still think this is absolutely Little Mo's race here. He's deserved it. He's put in a great showing. He's stayed out of trouble. He's made some great moves. He's provided action all night long. And for him to really not have a fair shot, well, I mean, I can't say that. He has had a fair shot. It's just the luck has not gone his direction. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sit well. Obviously, it's not. So you get a yellow flag. Oh, that's a Ferrari. He's gone around in a dangerous position there. It's just bong it. Feel like it's one of those things that you can't really do anything differently, can you? You can't stop a race because a couple of cars and a commentator has a connection issue. You can't call it that the race is bugged. Because Reimer's still in the session, Damon's still in the session. Lil Mo appears to have gotten back in somehow, which is good. The line this next time by will be 2 laps to go. It's half a second here between the two leaders. As to the inside, Johnny Damon is going to get round Reimer. And we have a new leader. Still just only 10th and a half, 3/10 of a second now between the top two as they make their way through 9 and head towards 10. Going to be an absolute dogfight to the finish here. Two guys really talented in their own right. Reimer has been the best driver by far all season long. Johnny Damon has been on the cusp of some good results. This is going to be a fantastic one for him here if he can get it done. Merck's going to get round John the Prince. King Pro player into the pit lane. 3/10 of a second exiting turn 14. Once again, at the line this time will be 2 laps to go. Oh, big slide there for Reimer. One of the biggest mistakes we've actually seen him make. Johnny Damon had the overcut rather. It stayed out a lap, 2 laps later than Reimer, and for the time being, it's looking like that's an important 2 laps. 3/10 of a second the gap here. Reimer, I'm thinking just that 1 extra lap has got to feel a whole lot worse on those tires. 3.5 of a second. That's such a big snap, but he's caught it somehow. Got the Ferrari of Hemphead. He's gone round exiting 16 and 17. Sorry, that's not Hemphead. That's Bong It. Into turn 8. Reimer very close to getting around Johnny Damon. I don't know how Reimer's going to get this done. He's got to really get within range with DRS. He's got to reel him in. He's got to really work for it now. Oh, that's a big slide for Damon. There's the opening. And oh, goodness me, just like that, Reimer's back in the lead with a lap and a half to go. Down the back straight now. Or so that's not really the back straight, is it? Down the straight now, heading into turn 14, 2/10 of a second. Johnny Damon, I will say this, will have the advantage on the final lap. He'll have DRS going down the pit straight, going down towards turn 7. That is actually, I would think, a better position to be in, but he's got to hold on. He cannot let this one slip. Through turn 18 and 19 for the penultimate time. Final lap of the Grand Prix underway. Reimer leads 0.4 of a second, only just. Damon's going to look to the inside. Not quite. He's got to hold on here. He's got to hope for another mistake from Reimer going through turn 5. He had a big one last time round. That's a bit of a wiggle there. That could help him. Reimer's going to have DRS to the back marker ahead. That will totally do in Johnny Damon here. But as they come out of turn 5, there they go. DRS activated for the Sauber. Reimer will have it. Looking for the inside. He'll have to try the outside through 7. Johnny Damon is going to get alongside, but he won't be close enough. Reimer's defended the corner well and fair. And in through 8. Yellow flag closer to the back. The V-Carb of Pontiac Bandit's gone round. Through turn 9. Bit of a slide there for Reimer. Still 0.3 of a second. Johnny Damon through turn 10. He's got to get this done into turn 14. That's the only way. But this is where he had the mistake last time by. He's got to have a good exit out of his 13th corner here, or else it's not going to happen. Oh, he's going to try to cut to the inside. He may have a better getaway this. DRS activated, heading towards 14. Reimer's going to defend the inside. Damon's going to have to go the long way around. And look at this. Wheel to wheel, side by side, exiting 14. And Johnny Damon's got the lead of the Grand Prix. With only a couple of corners left to go, Johnny Damon has made it happen when it counted. Reimer's still there. Could a mistake be made from the Sauber? Exiting 17, looking for 18 and 19. It's going to come down to the wire, but it will be Johnny Damon out of the final corner, winning the Grand Prix, 0.2 of a second. But I think we know. I mean, listen, great finish from Damon, great efforts from Reimer. But you got to think today, that probably should have been Lil Mo's race. DWCJ is going to come across the line in 14th. Owa, well, he's got a couple of cars behind him for the time being. It's a fantastic finish of 5th place. R. Manson and Merck cross the line behind. John the Prince is going to get that 7th spot after penalty. Jabor 8th. King Pro player 9th. Walrus will seemingly get 11th as King Pro player is going to get 10th. Pontiac 12th. Onyote will surely get 13th. And thank you all for joining us here. Congratulations to our Podium 3. Everybody make sure to have a happy and safe Thanksgiving next Thursday. And we'll be back in China in a couple of weeks' time for another round of the CCRL Elite Tier for Hotspot. It's been a pleasure joining you here once again. And we'll see you next time.